If you are planning to visit India, there is no better place to start than the north. India can be a little overwhelming, but the north is a perfect place to start for your introduction first trip to India. India is an incredible country, but it's not a place where you just rock up and wing it. If you plan a few things in advance, you will have the absolute best time. Watch my previous video, Travel Guide to India, with everything you need to know before you visit. It will answer so many questions and help you plan your trip. The Golden Triangle is the most popular tourist route in India, connecting Delhi, Agra and Jaipur. There is a reason why popular things are popular, so we will use this as the foundation of our trip and then wander off the beaten path to discover some gems. In the 2 weeks, we will visit Delhi, the pink city of Jaipur, the Taj Mahal in Agra, the Himalayas in Ladakh, with added variations of the deserts of Jaisalmer, the tigers of Ranthambore, and the Alps of Shimla and Manali, Delhi. It is the first day of your trip in India and you'll most likely fly into Delhi, the capital city of India. First thing to do when you get to the airport is draw cash. You will need cash in India and a lot of the ATMs aren't trustworthy. The second thing you'll do is get a SIM card. There's a chance that you won't be able to get a SIM card at the airport. We weren't able to. Which means you'll have to get one in the city. And for that, you need a local Indian cell phone number. So prepare for that in advance. Easiest thing would be to get an eSIM. Something else to note is that we weren't able to connect to Wi-Fi at Delhi airport. So prepare for that as well. Transport. I suggest you arrange transport from the airport to your accommodation before the time. You might not be able to get a SIM card or connect to Wi-Fi. Then I would head straight from the airport to Jaipur. Yes, I would skip Delhi altogether. Delhi is the only place in India where I didn't feel safe and a little uneasy. The smells, the noise, everything can be really, really overwhelming in Delhi, especially on your first day. That is just my view. Taxis in India is quite inexpensive for medium distances. A 5-hour private taxi journey will cost you about $60 from Delhi to Jaipur. They are very comfortable, they are safe, they're on time, and they have aircon. We will get to trains and buses a bit later in this trip, but I think for your first day in India after a long flight, a little bit of a culture shock, you deserve some comfort. We booked our taxis through a website called Make My Trip, but there's other sites you can use as well. For your first night in India, you will stay in Jaipur. It's known as the Pink City because it has a lot of pink buildings. We love Jaipur. We actually stayed here for a whole month. The people, the food, the ease, everything is just great. There are plenty of accommodation options that you can book through Airbnb or bookings. You can get relative comfortable accommodation here, anything from $15 to like unlimited. But about $30 to $50 a night will get you something really comfortable. We stayed in this Airbnb for $20 a night with wonderful hosts. I linked it in the description. Your first morning in India, you will wake up in the beautiful Jaipur. And I would suggest you do an organized Jaipur Pink City tour. You might usually prefer to explore on your own and wander and discover things by yourself. But when in India, I suggest organized tours. It will make your experience so much better walking around with a local tour guide. Not only for the information that they will convey to you or figuring out entrance gates and tickets, but as a foreigner in India, you will stand out and attract a little bit more attention. If you have a local guide with you, you will feel so much more comfortable. And India is hot. A lot of the attractions you'd want to see isn't next to each other or walking distance from each other. Also, India isn't necessarily a pedestrian-friendly country. We did a private 4-day city tour from Get Your Guide, and it was about $15 per person, which is an insane price for everything you get. I've put a link to the tour in the video description. The main highlights of Jaipur, and you will see them all on the tour, are Hawa Mahal, Amber Fort, the Stepwell, Jal Mahal, City Palace. I preferred Amber Fort to the City Palace, and if you're on a budget or don't want to spend all day on the tour, I'd maybe recommend skipping the City Palace. None of the entrance fees are expensive, but the City Palace was the most expensive one out of all of them. And Jantar Mantar, which has the astronomical instruments. The guide will also take you to a place for lunch and time for shopping. Jaipur is also known for custom clothing, So maybe order some clothes on this day. On this tour, the guide will also take you to this custom-made clothing place. You can watch our experience of Jaipur, linked here and in the description. On day 3, I'd like to take you a little bit off the beaten path. You have 3 options on day 3. Option 1. This is if you're going in winter. I'd suggest going to the Thar desert of Jaisalmer. If you're from Dubai or another country with a lot of camels, this might not be the best option for you. Option 2. A tiger safari in Ranthambore. If you're from Africa or some Southeast Asian countries where wildlife safaris are quite common, option 2 might not be the best option for you. Option 3, this is one of the more regular places to visit but still beautiful, the lake palaces in Udaipur. Before I delve into the 3 options, I'd like to propose something. Book your hotel room in Jaipur for an extra 2 nights. You're not going to stay there, but you will leave your luggage there. Or if you're at a nice hotel, you can also ask them to keep your luggage for you in storage. You want to travel light to these 3 destinations, so only take a carry-on or a backpack. I suggest you do a train journey. You haven't been to India if you didn't do a train journey. It will be between $20 and $40 for a first-class sleeper cabin. It is awesome. Before going on a train journey, watch our train video, linked here and in the description. It will help you so much. Don't do a train before you've watched this. I have the whole day set out for the train journey, and even though some of them are only 4 to 5 hours long, I'd like you to enjoy it, look at the views and just experience it all. Then you will spend day 4 and 5 in one of these 3 options, and day 6 travel back to Jaipur. Whichever option you choose, you have to stay in a palace. There's no place in this world where you will be able to live like a king or queen at this cost than in India. Option 1, Thar Desert in Jaisalmer. Only do this if you're in India during winter, which is November to March. Also, don't do this during the monsoon season, which is June to September. I'd suggest doing this on a tour where you take a camel into the desert and then you sleep under the stars in a Swiss tent, enjoy the local cuisine and dancing. It is such a vibe and an experience. You can either do a 2-day tour in the desert, or you can do a 1 night in the desert and the other night you stay in a palace. This option is the furthest one from Jaipur. It's about a 10-hour train journey, but it is the most adventurous one and likely the most memorable one. Option 2, a tiger safari in Ranthambore. Do note that you might not actually see a tiger. It's not a zoo, it is a huge park where the tigers wander around and live freely. There are rumors online that there's not actually tigers in the park. Our Airbnb host sent us a video of them seeing tigers the week after we went, so there are tigers, but it's not a zoo. You can watch our tiger safari video and stay in the palace in Ranthambore, linked in the description and here on the screen. Option 3, Udaipur. Udaipur is known as a city of lakes. It is absolutely stunning. Also, stay in a palace when you are here, and I'd also recommend doing a guided city tour of Udaipur. But most importantly, in whichever option you choose, stay in a palace. A reminder that for every 10 new subscribers to this channel, we feed or donate meals to stray animals. There's so many animals all across the world in desperate need of a meal, especially in India. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, the stray animal gets a meal, and it makes me pretty happy. Day 6. So after your adventure, you will travel back to Jaipur and stay 1 last night in the Pink City. If you had any custom-made clothing made, you can also pick it up on this day. Day 7. On day 7, we will travel to Agra, the place where the Taj Mahal is. You have 3 options here for transport. If you want to take it easy and stop somewhere on the way, take a taxi again. Option 2, if you are comfortable with the trains, you can take a train again. Option 3, or if you feel really adventurous, then take a bus. It is truly an experience, and our bus travel journey is documented in this video. This is just a travel day, enjoy the scenery, and go to bed early because the next day is going to be long and an early wake-up call for the Taj Mahal. Agra has various accommodation options, anything from $10 to unlimited. Some of them even have views of the Taj Mahal. We stayed in this boutique hotel for $25 a night. It's about a 15-minute tuk-tuk ride from the Taj Mahal. It's day 8, and today you're going to visit one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Taj Mahal. You are going to want to wake up early and be there when the gates open to skip the queues. I've detailed everything you need to know about visiting Taj Mahal, the tickets, the costs, how to get there in this video, linked in the description and on the screen. For dinner that night, I recommend going to the restaurant Pinch of Spice. They have delicious food. Agra is also known for their leather products, so you can go do some shopping. Day 9 is the day we leave the heat behind and head to the snow-capped mountains of the Himalayas, or the Himalayas as it's known in India. Yes, only going to spend one day in Agra. The main highlight there is the Taj Mahal. There's a few options of which area of the mountains to go to. But first you'll travel from Agra to Delhi, and I recommend taking a flight from Delhi to any of these options. If you have more time and more of a risk appetite, you can also take a bus from Delhi to any of these locations, but a flight is much quicker and more comfortable and safer. Now that we're at Delhi airport, let's look at the options. First one, Leh Ladakh. You should only go to Leh during summer, March to September. During winter, there is severe weather conditions, most of the places are closed and a lot of the roads are inaccessible. Another thing to consider is your health. Leh is located 3,500 meters above sea level, so you need to be relatively fit and healthy in order to adjust to that altitude. There is so much to do here: motorbiking, hikes, exploring the Indus River, and if you can, I'd suggest extending your time here. We did a motorbiking journey in Ladakh and I linked the 3-part series here and in the description, and I suggest you watch that, especially if you want to explore other areas of Ladakh like Pangong, Nubra Valley and Hanle that we went to. Ladakh is also known to have the highest motorable pass in the world. This was a 5-day motorbiking trip, but you can also do shorter ones. But watch our video, Leh, everything you need to know before visiting, linked in the description and here, to know what to pack, acclimatization and where to stay. Option 2, Manali and Shimla. You can either do a longer trip in one of them or combine the two. Shimla is more cute with incredible architecture, and Manali is more adventurous like camping and skiing. Both have hikes, waterfalls and river rafting, and incredible accommodation and cabins nestled in forests in the mountains. Day 10 to day 14, I'd recommend spending in one of these places. It might seem a bit longer than the other places, but in Leh you need a day or two to acclimatize before you can really enjoy it. And after 10 jam-packed days in India, some more relaxed time exploring at a slower pace is well deserved in the mountains. If you have any questions or suggestions, please put them in the comments below. I love helping fellow travelers plan exciting trips or hear from locals or people who had different experiences than we did. We have beautiful places and people on this planet. And if you are able to get off the couch and out the door, there is an incredible world awaiting you to explore. And remember to subscribe to not miss any of our future videos and to feed a stray animal. Thank you for watching and namaste.